Let's look at the requirement and then we'll explore how we can come up with a solution for this requirement. So requirement here is I have a supplier and count of PO number for supplier. Let's see first how count of PO number for the supplier, total due, and so on, right? So requirement here is any analysis I want to do on supplier. I want to filter all the suppliers where number of POs, this is count of POs, right? Count of POs is less than 2, for example, right? Or equal to or less than 2. So let's save it first because we are going to, let's create a new folder. I'm just exploring. Add this folder and let's save this dashboard inside that folder. Let's add this. Okay, so this is showing me supplier ID and count of PO number, count of POs, not PO number, this is count of PO. Count of PO and total due, right? So this is count of PO. All right, so requirement here is I want to filter either in the dashboard or any other insight where I'm doing analysis by supplier. I want to filter all the suppliers where PO number is 2 or less than 2. Or that number can be variable as well. We'll see how to do that later on. So how do you do that? How do you apply that filter? So for example, I can create one more insight here, and by status, I want to see count of PO and total due, right? So this is, let's call it PO count. PO count, let's change this to count. Save, right? So this is PO count, this is also PO count, this is count here, right? Now, even this here, I want to, when I'm doing this count for PO, I want to get rid of all the suppliers where count of PO is 2 or less than 2, right? Same thing applies here as well. So how do we do that? Let me just bring it next to this. There's a way to do that. We may have to curate data here in this using business schema, but there's a really interesting way of doing this. You can use some new features we have added in inQuery to do that. You can use inQuery filter, and inQuery filter can use a business view which is based on analyzer. So let's first go and create a business view, and then we'll use inQuery filter to get rid of all the suppliers where PO count is 2 or less than 2. So for that, since I'm a business user, I can create a new business schema here. Let's call it _B. Let's save this. And let's add a new business view. And I want to add it using analyzer. And I'm going to create this using. So this business view is going to give me grouping dimension is supplier and count of PO. So this is going to give me all the POs, count of POs by supplier, right? So let's save this now. And let's call it PO count by supplier. Done, right? Now, beauty of this business view is anytime your data gets updated in physical schema, this also gets updated. Okay, you don't have to manage a load or sync for this. This is a business view, so this gets updated as soon as any data in this schema gets updated. So you don't have to worry about whether I'm looking at latest data or not. All right, so we have this business view. How do I use that now? Okay, so let's use that business view to get rid of all the suppliers where PO count is 2 or less than 2. We have 73 rows, and you can see there are a bunch of suppliers where PO count is 1 or 2 and so on, right? So let's see how you can use that filter in this one first, then we'll try another one as well. But before that, let me duplicate this here And let me duplicate this one else as well, so that when you apply filter, we can compare how filter is getting applied. So edit layout, let me just bring this one next to it. All right. So first we'll test our filter with this. The way you apply that filter is on individual filter. Let's drag and drop a supplier from here, and this is inQuery filter. So what I want to do is, using inQuery, I want to get only those suppliers where PO count of PO is greater than 2, right? So to do that, just write a query function here, and using business view, I will get supplier from here, and then add a filter where I will say PO count is greater than 2. So this is going to return list of supplier, all the supplier IDs from whom we have number of POs which is greater than 2. And that will be compared with this supplier which is coming from this table, right? So filter here is supplier should be in a list of suppliers returned by this. And this will filter and give me all the suppliers where count of PO is equal to or greater than 2. And that's what we see here. See, 29 rows, PO count here is 2 or greater than 2. 29 rows. Here it is 73 rows, right? So that's how you apply this inQuery filter. And you can apply that filter here as well. And by status as well, it will give you PO count and total due, but get rid of supplier where count of PO is 2 or less than 2. So to apply that filter here, let's bring in business view, and then individual filter, drag the supplier from here, use inQuery, and then the query function. I'll return the supplier where count of PO is greater than 2. Let's save this. And let's save this. So now this count is different than this count here, right? Because now I've got rid of all the suppliers where PO count is 2 or less than 2. Now this is one way of doing it. If you want to make that 2 dynamic, all you need to do is use a presentation variable. Let me show you how to do that as well. So you can create a presentation variable. Let's bring this variable here, and let's call it PO count. Let's call it variable name P1, data type is integer, default value is 2, and I don't need any field here. Click on done. Okay, so default value is 2. So here I will apply that filter using this presentation variable. Let me show you how you do that. All you need to do is you need to apply $P1 and click on done. Save. Right? So this is greater than 2. If I change this to say, let's put it 1 here. So now this will include 2 as well here, right? So now this is dynamic. And of course, same thing you can do here as well. And if I want to say, okay, show me all the suppliers where PO, count of PO is greater than 3. So this will show me this way, right? Now it's 16 rows only. All right, so hope this helps and give you a good idea about how you can use inQuery filter as well as analyzer based business view to do some of these analysis.